we would want at some point to have AI running on our consumer laptops without access to the internet, without having to send your data to some API, to some data center that is running these models. There are a host of reasons why you would want AI or AI models to be locally available on your laptop. Now, the problem is most of these models require GPUs or graphic processing units to be able to run efficiently. But there are some other versions that are very, very performant and are that can be able to execute all of the regular tasks that you keep executing in ChatGPT. The questions that you ask and the help that you get from ChatGPT are basic natural language processing tasks that a model capable of running on your computer system can also do. So today I'm going to give us a 5-step process of how to basically have AI models running on your system. The program that you would need to run this is called Ollama. So first of all, you need to have Ollama running on your system. And to get Ollama running on your system, you would need to go to this particular site. This is the link. The link will be in the description. You can go to ollama.com/download, and then you download it. I think it's about 1.1 gig. So I've already downloaded and installed it. So I'll go over to my programs to show you what it looks like. Where is that? So this is what it looks like. Ollama setup. So it's a regular program. You just double click and you run. And then next up, to confirm if you have Ollama running, to open up CMD as your command prompt and type Ollama version. So if you see something like this, then you know that ollama is running successfully. So once you have this, the next step would be to go and download the model weights. The most popular way to get model weights right now is to go to Hugging Face. Hugging Face is it's the platform where we are able to get any and all sort of models. So you can go to huggingface.co, and once you get here, you can be able to basically search for any model. So the models that are able to run on consumer hardware are models that are the kind of system that I'm using. Let me show you what my system looks like. Let me show you my system configuration. So my system has 32 gigs of RAM with an 11th generation Core i7. So there is no CUDA enabled GPU. Of course, um, I have a GPU on this HP system. It's an Intel Iris, which is not capable of recognizing CUDA commands. So it is useless insofar as running machine learning models is concerned. So this GPU doesn't have any effect on the performance of what I'm going to show you today. So I have, like I said, 32 gigs of RAM, and then an 11th generation Core i7 PC. So if you go to Hugging Face, or look for one of the models that is capable, that is designed, they are called small language models, they are designed to work on consumer hardware. So one of those models is called Phi 3. So if we look for Phi 3, you would see that, mind you, there are thousands of models that are capable of running on your hardware. But then the one that I'll be using this for this illustration today would be the mini 3 mini 4K instruct GGUF model, right? So GGUF means GPT generated unified format. It's a format that packages the weight of the models in such a manner that you are able to deploy, that it makes it more portable and easier to handle. I'm getting a bit technical, and this is not supposed to be very technical. However, let me get to it. So once the Phi 3 Mini 4K instruct model of the GGUF format So if you come over here, you see that there are of two types. There's one that is 2.2 gig in size. This means that your RAM, if you have a RAM of 16 gig, or like in my case, I have 32 gig, that means when this model is loaded into memory, 2.2 gig of my RAM is going to go off. And that is just for loading the model alone. Now, the context size is still there. We're saying this model has a context size of 128,000 tokens. So that's also going to have its own memory stream on your RAM. So you have 2.2 gigs plus another 128,000 tokens. There's some level of calculation that we can do there to find out the memory cost. But then it's minimal compared to other models within this particular space. The second step would be to download the model, right? So you can just click on this link right here. You click on it, it takes you to this page, and then you can click on download, and then you're able to download this model right here. I've already downloaded it. Um, I'll show you. So I created a folder called models. So in this folder, I have a folder for SLMs, which means small language models. I also plan on having visual language models here, vision language models, which will be VLMs, but that is just for structure. So this is the model right here, and you can see that it is 2.3 gig in size on this, but you'll be downloading 2.2, negligible difference. So once you've downloaded that, the next step would be to create what we call a model file. Now, a model file is something that ollama uses to to, should I say, unpack the model with. Remember, we have the model in GGUF format. Now, GGUF format is not a format that you can run inference against. So you would need for ollama to convert those weights into tensors, and then those tensors would now be what to process whatever inputs that you send in, and then also produce an output. Now I've created a model file, but a model file, what it basically does is it's just a pointer. It points ollama to the where the GGUF format model is located basically. So I'm going to open this. So opening with Notepad, you can see right here, this is what it looks like. So all you need to do is to copy. I'll right click and copy as path. So after you've copied the parts, you just type from and then you paste in that part. If you paste it, you'll see that it would have double quotes at the end and at the beginning. It will be encompassed in double quotes. So you need to remove those double quotes. Once you remove those double quotes and you save, then you will have this model file. Now you have to make sure that you don't save it as any file format. It's just so the file type is just supposed to be file. Now, if you create it in Notepad and you save it, it will have the extension text. ollama cannot work with this. So after you saved it and it has this format, for you to be able to see this format, all you need to do is to click on view, and I think yes, you can select file name extension so that you can see the extension. Then you can right click and rename, show more options, and then click rename, and then delete the text part including the dots and leave just the name. And once you click enter, you see this prompt. It says if you change the file name extension, the file might become unusable. Ignore this and click yes, and then you see that the type becomes file. The next step would be to then create the model using the ollama create command. So ideally, you should open command prompt in this directory where you have saved the model file and the model, so that the command will be easy. So if you're, of course, this is for PC users. So you just click on here and type cmd and hit enter, and then your command prompt opens, and then you go ahead to type in ollama create. Then what model do you want? What do you want to name the model? Since it's Py 3, let's call it Py 3. So you create Py. I think, okay, I've created Py 3. Let me call this one Py. Yeah, I'll call it Py 3.2 just to differentiate, because I had created this earlier. I already have a Py 3. So dash F, then it points to the model file. So we type in model file. and then you hit enter, and then you see it will start gathering the model components, which it means it's getting the widths, and then it will convert this into all right. So it has created this, it has created the model, it has created the Pi 3.2 model. So the next step will now be to run the model. So ollama run Pi 3.2, and I'll hit enter. Oh, I was supposed to show that this is not running online. So right now I'm going to go disconnect my internet so that we know that it's completely offline. So I've turned off my Wi-Fi, as you can see, and now I'm going to send a message. So I'll say hello, and then let's see. Right there, you can see. Of course, it's a bit slow because we are running on device, but then again, it doesn't require internet. That is the most important thing. Um, this model was trained sometime last year. So I'll say, let me ask you the question like, how do I, okay, tell me the benefits. Tell me the benefits of having offline AI models running on my PC. Now let's see if it would answer us. So you can see, so basically all of the queries that you are able to run online, you can also run here. And there are so many specialized models. You can come to Hugging Face, like I earlier stated. Um, over here, you can look for any sort of model, basically. And then you can search for any sort of model here. And for instance, I have something that I'm supposed to do with vision with OCR. I'm planning on using the Chandra model because Chandra is an open source model. Oh, I turned off internet. So for that illustration, you see it's still running. And then besides using the terminal, you also have the option of using the ollama app itself, right? Let it open up and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the ollama app. You can see that I had Pi 3 just like I stated earlier. Now this is the Pi 3.2. It allows you to download many other models. So all these other models that you can see the extension of cloud in there, on there, are models that ollama runs on it in its own data center and then serves you the inference, like this inference over cloud, right? But all these other ones, like you have the 120 billion parameter GPT OSS model, which was released sometime this year, and then you have the Gemma, which is also a very capable model. You have DeepSeek, and then you have Quen, the Quen Vision language model, 8 billion parameter. You have 4 billion parameter. All of these models you can run on your PC at varying levels of performance depending on the sort of setup you have. If you have like probably a gaming PC that has a good GPU that is CUDA enabled, you will have way more performance. But the thing I want us to take away from this is that you do not need internet anymore. You need internet for the setup, of course, to download the model, to download ollama, to do all of these setups that I've illustrated here, that I've shown you how to do here. But as far as using the model is concerned, you do not need internet. So you can select Pi 3.2 here, which we just created, and do. So these are some of the regular tasks that we use ChatGPT for. You can do this on your system without internet. So right now we had something else running earlier on, and you can see it's completed. You can see all of this information. Local processing, you can process your data locally. There are all of these benefits there that you get from running your model locally. Remember, Hugging Face is the place to get models. You can come. Okay, yes, I was telling you about a vision model that I was planning on using. So you can see Chandra OCR, the GGUF model. I plan on downloading this model later, and then for I'll use it for the OCR task that I have. So there are different versions here with different sizes. Always take into consideration the size of RAM you have, right? So any of these ones here, you can see 4.8 gig. I have 32 gigs of RAM. So if I free up all of this, or if I close most of these tabs down here, I'll have way more memory to be able to load this model into memory and then run inference against it. So yeah, that's it for today. Have a great day.